All right, here we are. Fugitive Watch with the OGs. Steve Ferdine, Scott Castrita. I'm Mark Hinch. How you guys doing?
Good, Mark.
Great, Mark.
And we
Doing
should
good.
be on Facebook Live, too. So you can join us on Facebook. We appreciate you guys. We're watching the comments, hopefully. And we're also on YouTube. Got Carmen on YouTube there. And a lot going on. Coming up, we got a big holiday week. A lot happening. I want to start off, guys. Remember, you can always check us out at fugitive.com. This is our website here, and also on Instagram and Facebook. And I know, Scott, you got some stories. Steve, we're going to have a lot of questions for you, probably. And I want to start off with one that we talked about in the promo about a case that's an older case. Hold on here. Get this up here. I don't know if you guys remember the story of Melani, the Frenchie that was stolen in a brutal robbery in Hollister back in 2022. Do you guys remember that at all?
No, I don't remember that one.
California.
Scott, you saw it, right?
Yeah. I do. I recall it. I recall
No audio
that.
for Scott.
No audio?
Scott, try again.
I said I do recall that.
No audio for Scott
No.
at all.
Wow.
All right, Scott, don't know what to tell you, man. Hold on. Just be with us here. I'm going to play the audio here, and we will get this going.
Scott says he does recall it, though.
This woman is walking into an unthinkable nightmare. There's no way she can know that there are two bad guys inside. She's about to be ambushed inside her own house.
You guys hear that?
What Happens next is terrifying. They not only beat her, they also took off with her most cherished possession, her 11-month-old French Bulldog, Milani. You can see them fleeing on the doorbell camera.
I have the black eye.
Guys, Scott, we can't hear you. I mean, this was brutal. She was beaten. Scott? Steve, how you doing? Can I hear you?
I can hear both of you guys.
How about now, Scott?
And I can hear both of you guys.
All right, cool. We're there, guys. Sorry about that. Let's start over again.
This woman is walking into an unthinkable nightmare. There's no way she can know that there are two bad guys inside. She's about to be ambushed inside her own house. What happens next is terrifying. They not only beat her, they also took off with her most cherished possession, her 11-month-old French Bulldog, Milani. You can see them fleeing on the doorbell camera.
I have the black eye.
And this is Amanda today, still bruised from the violent attack.
So now, do you guys, Scott, you remember this case, right?
I do remember this case.
Yeah. And so this was a brutal beating that happened of this woman after her dog Milani was stolen, and the case was all over the news. It actually made it onto Dr. Phil, and
You walked right in.
I mean, this thing went national because of the Frenchie epidemic. I guess theft epidemic has gone crazy, and it has a lot to do with the value of these dogs. Have you guys been looking at that at all?
I have noticed several cases of those particular breed of dogs being stolen in San Jose and Los Angeles. Beverly
There's a lot
Hills.
of echo behind you, Mark.
Go ahead, Steve.
No, I've noticed quite a few of these cases, especially in affluent areas like Beverly Hills, Los Angeles.
There's been some famous ones too.
Yeah, I think there was a movie singer or a movie star or something, and she had
Lady Gaga.
Her dog walker was shot, I think, and her dog was stolen.
Right, right. Well, this case, again, there was a lot of leads that came in at the time. The one thing about it is that there was a car involved, a silver Chevy Malibu that was seen out front. These two guys came in. Actually, what happened was Amanda had left her house to go to the ATM machine. And when she left, she forgot her ATM card, so she came back. When she came back, that's when she walked inside and found the guys inside the house. Now, they had entered through the back. They had jumped the fence through another neighbor's yard and broke the back door. But here's the thing. What had happened was she had been posting about, having this Frenchie is going to have babies real soon. The Frenchie was
Right.
just a month or two away from having the litter. And so someone knew that she had this dog, and the dog was getting ready to have the puppies. Now the Frenchie alone is worth probably about $5,000 to $6,000 at that time.
Wow.
And then imagine the puppies, right? If you have something like that. There's a lot of controversy about Frenchies. A lot of people don't like the fact that they're bred. I'm not going to get into that. I understand, there's a lot of different issues here going on. But in this case, Amanda was beaten really bad, and the dog has not been located. We never know what happened to the dog. But the guys that did this crime, they obviously were tipped off about her. They obviously were waiting for her to leave. They didn't expect for her to come back to the house like that. And that's when, she surprised them, and they beat you saw what they did to her. So what happened was Hollister PD took the case. They ran for it a little bit, but they really didn't say much. I mean, we never got any word on what was going on. Even she was all over the news. some people, did a lot to help her. A lot of people criticized her, but the fact is, these are the facts. She was beaten. The dog was taken, and the leads kind of went dead, except for us. Me and the family started working on some leads, and that led us down to Salinas. And down in Salinas, there were sightings of the dog. Now, we worked on that end of it. What the disturbing thing about the whole thing was, it was more, it wasn't even so much the guys that had her. It was the people that were like hiding the dog out for the guys. And,
Right.
and Salinas PD was real helpful. They went around, they did a lot of different knock and talks for us. There's multiple suspects involved, multiple people. Some were just innocent. Other ones were a little bit more shady, wouldn't cooperate at all. And the funny thing is, though, people started calling me about a week and a half ago. And
Wow.
Is there still a reward on that?
There is,
there
yes,
still
there's still a
reward?
reward on that. Yeah, that's the thing. Someone's calling. Here's what happens, and you guys know this as being cops, and especially fugitive hunters. The two cowards that broke in the door, right? Probably gang related. A lot of these times you research, a lot of these guys get arrested for this down the road. Turns out there's some sort of gang related, some sort of prison gang thing going on there. And there was another one just in Sacramento just recently where the guy was recognized from stealing a Frenchie because he got arrested on a murder charge. And someone said, that's the same guy that stole my dog, right? So,
Wow.
but you guys know how this works. This is 2 years ago, 2 months. We know that,
Well, that means that those puppies are going to be 2 years old.
yeah, but
And
we know that friendships don't last. Let's put it that way, right? Let's say there's 5 people that know about what happened here. The 2 clowns that were doing it, and then the people that were helping them hide the dog, and the parents of those people of the people hiding the dog. I mean, there's a lot of people that know what's going on here. The funny thing is now, no one snitches, right? They all snitch because friendships don't last. People get in trouble. Things happen. Other
No
crimes are
honor among
committed.
thieves.
Yeah, exactly
yeah,
right.
they can use that information to leverage themselves out of the
Exactly
trouble
right.
that
And
they're
at this point, what the cool thing about it is that who's going to make the best deal? Because we're not
Yeah.
talking about the theft of a dog. We're talking about go ahead, you guys are the cops. We're talking about a burglary. We're talking about a robbery. And we're talking
Robbery.
about an assault, right?
A violent robbery.
A violent robbery, right? Which is
The first one usually gets the best deal.
the first one gets the best deal. So the tips have been coming in. Steve, what number do they call?
1-800-9-CAUGHT.
That's
or
right.
You can send us a tip at tips@fugitive.com.
And I'm personally the private investigator hired to work on this case. We're going to do a more in-depth video about this case later. I appreciate you guys tuning on this. There's a lot going on. It's pretty dynamic at this time, and we're hoping, God, it'd be great if Milani was still safe and alive, and that's Amanda's hope, obviously, and but also some accountability for these cowards and the people that hid them out. And we know the game. I mean, it's just a matter of you can't say anything, and you know what? Someone's doing the right thing right now, and that we never were able to positively identify the silver Malibu. So if you have any information about that, it had some damage on the side of it, but we do have some other info, and it's funny how this whole thing's coming together.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hopefully, I think somebody wants to swing a deal to stay out of jail or
Right.
shorten there, and they're going to come to their senses, and they're going to give you the information. So,
Okay. Thanks, guys, for tuning in on that one here, and let's go to. All right. So now, Scott, we have the first story here on Fugitive Watch, and we're looking at the postal thefts. You want to watch the video and tell us what's going on first?
yeah, we can watch the video. Basically, there's this big, huge uptick in mailmen and male women out there getting held up and robbed. And one of the things they're going after is they're going after their keys. They have a master key that opens up, all the mailboxes, and of course the last couple ones, Vallejo, I know,
We've been there before. We were there
Antioch,
last week.
yeah. So the thing is that a lot of the new um, uh, uh, housing, they have a centralized mailbox. They don't get mail delivered to their front door. Some of us are grandfathered in and still get our mail delivered to our houses. And they go down and they open up those key boxes, and they steal all that mail, and especially around the holidays, there's all kinds of goodies in there. But I'm gonna give let's watch the video. I'm gonna give you some tips of some of the things I think that can be done to help with this, and also for you to protect yourself.
All right, here we
One
go.
of- uh,
It's terrible. It's horrible. No letter carrier should wake up every day wondering if today's the day they're going to be robbed.
But the president of the East Bay branch of the National Letter Carriers Association says that's precisely the fear many mail carriers now live with. As the busy holiday season kicks into high gear, already 2 mail carriers have been robbed at gunpoint.
It's extremely traumatic and scary. I mean, you go to work, you're delivering the mail, it's the holiday season, we're out there to, be Santa Claus and get the packages delivered, and out of the blue, somebody comes up behind you and sticks a gun in your face.
Today, the U.S. Postal Service released surveillance video of a suspect who approached a mailman on Parrott Street in Vallejo in late November. He demanded the mailman's master mailbox key at gunpoint. Surveillance cameras captured a similar robbery in Antioch on November 29th. They say that video shows a woman in a blue jacket pulling out a gun. Postal inspectors say she robbed the letter carrier, also taking his master key.
We're having letter carriers robbed at gunpoint. It's a serious federal offense. Our concern is the safety of the carriers. It's a federal crime. Potential penalty up to 25 years in federal prison.
The Postal Service is offering a $150,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in each case. The head of the Letter Carriers Union says the attacks are unacceptable. He says some mail carriers who've been victimized are too afraid to go back to work.
When you suffer that, some of them, they don't come back for it. It's traumatic. It's post-traumatic stress. I mean, having a gun stuck in your face is a horrible thing.
He also says more needs to be done to protect the folks who deliver our mail. In the East Bay,
Scott?
So when you hear that stuff and you hear that, it's a federal crime. Okay, I mean, it's a federal crime. I mean, you can't commit federal crimes unless you're a federal crime uh, person that makes the laws, and you work for the federal government. Let's just get that out there. But anyway, one of the things I was going to tell you, Mark, on this, I don't understand. Here we are, all this technology we have out there. Why can they not put a digital lock on those boxes that can easily be changed from an app? They can change the code to get in. They could still have everybody have their individual keys to open so the cost isn't that expensive. But I know they don't want to spend money. I know they want to get rid of the U.S. Postal Service. They're not going to put any more. They seem like they're not doing anything to make it better. But that's just one. That's my recommendation. But one of the things you can do, if you go to the United States Postal Postal Service, you can sign up for this service. I know I have it. I know Steve has it, and I'm not sure, Mark, if you have it, but you sign up for it.
I have a P.O. box.
It's free. Yeah, well, I have one of those too. But that's a different story why you have that.
Okay.
But the thing is I get an email every morning. I get an email from the post office, and it shows me a picture of everything that's going to be in my mailbox that day. So the thing is, if all of a sudden you go down there and you open because you're not going to know. These guys have the master key. They open it up. They take the mail. You may just think, oh, I didn't get mail. Yeah, you're just going to think maybe I didn't get mail today. But if you get this email every day and it's free, go there, sign up for it. I highly recommend it. And all of a sudden you go down there and there's a bunch of mail missing. You'll know who to contact, whether it's your credit card company or somebody sent you a check. You know, you can tell them to cancel
really
it, rewrite
bad
another
echo.
one. What's that, Steve?
I'm hearing a very bad echo.
I think it's just on your end, Steve. So I think there's a lot of different ways that you could remedy this. And I know, have you guys ever picked up a package from like a 7-Eleven or something like that before with the lockers, the UPS lockers?
Yeah, I know of them. They have them in Walmart too, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I think the post office would be looking at some different ways to these big mailboxes with the keys. Like you said, there should be some way they can change the locking systems on there and without using the hard physical keys. I mean, how many times as police officers did you guys find a homeless guy or a crook with master keys to gates, Caltrans keys, mailbox keys, and stuff like that, right? I mean, we're kind of getting away from the hard keys.
Signal light keys.
Right. Signal light keys. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They reset the signal boxes that the cops have and stuff like
It's
that.
real bad delay echo for Mark and Scott.
Both of us. Okay. All right. Huh. How about now? Better, Steve?
No,
No, not at all. Huh?
still a delay.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's move on to number. Let's see. Let's just have to get through this. We're gonna go. The next one here is you had a story here. Bart Police. Steve's old. Poor Steve. Bart Police. Steve, did you see this video?
I'm getting a really bad delay echo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
Hard to follow you guys.
Okay.
Just power through it, Steve.
Yeah, we'll have to power through it. Sorry, man. Okay, let's go ahead and watch this other video here.
Eating donuts.
Yeah. It's not gonna be good. Not gonna be good. That's not good.
No, that's a hard one right there. I mean, I could see having your gun out, you know, if you're, but at that point, I'm not really sure. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe there was an AR sitting on the front seat that we don't know about. But I don't. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of people really upset about that. Whoop.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of people really upset about that, and you know, it looks like he was far enough away from the car, and then the car started to take off, and you could hear him fire a couple rounds as the
Right.
car's driving off. I know on where we come from, you're not allowed to shoot at a fleeing vehicle unless you can explain why you feel that them getting away is going to be a threat.
Okay.
Okay,
Did you guys hear the audio when I was playing that back?
I did hear the audio.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure if the feed picked it up, but okay. Steve, Bart Police, what's going to happen in there?
I have to wait. I'm still hearing Scott, so let him finish.
I'm Go.
All right. I think what we'll do is we'll move on. We'll power through this last one. Steve, you just observe, okay? We got to fix this, but we'll have to bring it in next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna have to fix this problem.
well, we have some things we can talk about later. Anyway, all right. Let me get. We'll just cut Steve out altogether.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. I was hearing the echo earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, we have one more. This is the Good Samaritan.
Oh, yeah. So last week we were talking about the Good Samaritan, the one that was on the train in New York,
Right.
and they were calling him a hero. This one they're calling a hero.
A San Francisco barista, Donna shows us,
Nick Grant knows something's wrong. A man in a mask is trying to take a customer's backpack. In a split second, he's pushing a cart into the attempted robber.
I had a moment to assess the situation, but it was clear from that point that, intervention was needed.
That's when the suspects started spraying mace. The two fought until Grant took him to the ground, other customers even stepping in to help.
I was blind from their mace at that point, and I didn't really realize that there was another person there, but thankfully he was able to get the bear mace out of his hands.
Grant held the man down for 7 minutes waiting for police. We now know the man is 42-year-old Amir Moner of Concord, booked in the San Francisco County Jail for this attempted robbery and other active warrants. Saturday morning, Grant is still shaken up, but back making coffee.
I'm a little sore this morning. I'm still coughing out bear mace, but I'm good. Right on. Thanks so much. We'll have out for you in about 5 minutes. I'm not going to let anybody like that stop me from doing what I love.
Some customers noticing the small cut on his head, making sure he's okay. Alejandro Ramirez, who works at a tattoo shop down the street, came in just to show support after seeing the video on social media.
I think it makes you happy that there's someone who cares about, his, just someone who could have been a stranger to him, his backpack or whatever it was. I think that's pretty cool.
Grant says luckily he has a background in security and combat training, so he was able to step in. Unfortunately, crime like this isn't new in the neighborhood.
I'm just happy I was there. It's, it's one of those things that folks can, look away in certain situations, or you can have the moment to act. And I want people to feel more empowered to act.
In San Francisco, Amanda Quintana, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
a San Francisco.
That's
So
I love that,
yeah,
and I love, and here's the problem: if he worked for a large corporation, like a Starbucks or Home Depot, right? That was a small store, right?
Right, they would have fired him.
And you know why they would fire him? Because the lawyers told them they got to fire him, right? Because they don't want the liability of him getting hurt or hurting somebody and then them getting sued. It's not so much the owners of the business that want it that way, but if they want their insurance policies to be in effect, the insurance companies that insure these big corporations don't want the employees to confront people. And that's
I get that,
issue.
but that'd be pretty rough to stand by and watch
you're
that.
right.
I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, I know that they're calling the guy a hero, and he is. He jumped in there, but I think you and I were talking earlier today. People are sick and tired of this. They're tired of it, and it's going to take that type of action in order to stop these guys. How many videos have you and I watched where people are just standing there watching the crime occur and nobody gets involved, and we're sitting there going, oh my God, how can people just stand there and watch that? Some of them are videotaping for their Instagram pages, but they're not jumping in. And it's like, that would be, I know with my background, your background, I'm sure we wouldn't just stand there and watch that. And this guy jumping out there taking care of business like that. I mean, yeah, he took a huge chance, and luckily this guy didn't die from delirium asphyxia,
Which guy? The bad guy? The bad guy?
Yeah, the bad guy, because then, they'd be singing a whole different tune.
His family would be, about how he's, got issues and this and that. And he didn't need to, he didn't need to kill him or whatever. And sometimes that might be justified, but look, the guy in there is with his laptop. He's minding his own business. The barista's minding his own business. The guy comes in, and this is the consequences. Now, unlike the New York City DA charging the former Marine, I doubt if the new DA, people seem to like her, the cops seem to like her, Brooke Jenkins is going to file on the barista for any sort of charges. I don't even think that's come up, right?
No.
Yeah,
No.
and that's the right thing to do. Now, insurance-wise, if he gets hurt or if he works for a corporation, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, if the guy lost his job, he could probably put it on GoFundMe and get all of his legal bills taken care of, because people are tired of it, and that's why things have changed in the city, and the politics in general have changed in California when it comes to enforcement of crime and build more jails. I was watching Jerry Brown last week. Did I mention this last week? I was watching him on some show, former governor, and he said, they were mandated. The state of California is being fined daily for their prison overflows back during the in about 2014, 15, or 13, whatever it was, by the Justice Department at that time. And California really had to make a choice, like maybe emptying some prisons. I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, it's got to be in coordination with the federal government so that doesn't happen. But California needs some good, strong jails. I'm sorry, people don't want to hear that, but they do. They need jails. People like this
Or
need to
some
be
chain
in jail.
gangs.
They need to be in jail until they can figure out what their issues are and they get their treatment there. Because having them on the streets, having them around, I don't know what this guy's deal is. He's from Concord, I think. And he's in the city, right? I'd like to dig in his history a little bit, see what other charges he might have out in Contra Costa County or here in San Francisco County. Because I want to know more about some of these people that do this. I know they're still innocent until proven guilty, but like you said with the juveniles a few weeks ago, Scott, we got video of them going in there and causing this. It's not like they're just standing by and not happening. These, I have no problem. Like, who is this person? I mean, look what they did with the CEO killer. We know all about him. He's still innocent until proven guilty. So what's the issue about digging in on some of these other people that are doing this stuff? But I don't know if the media will hear any more about this guy, what the history is, what type
we
of
probably
deal
won't
he's
hear
gonna get.
anything.
Unless we do it.
I'd like to know
Unless
how
we
much,
do it. We can do it. We can figure out who
I'd
he
like
is.
to know how much jail time he gets.
Yeah.
Or does he just get a slap on the wrist and say, don't you do that again?
Right.
They call it the finger wag. Don't, here's the finger. Don't you stop that. You don't do that again. And then they just go out and do it again.
I think those days are over.
I don't know.
I'd
like to believe that, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the public and even the more progressive public in San Francisco and Oakland is going to demand it, and you're already seeing that happen. They may still vote blue on one side of the issues, but when it comes to that crime stuff, you're going to see a lot of those blue voters say, no, I want this enforced. I know a lot of the hard right guys say that's all BS, but I didn't flee I didn't flee San Francisco like a lot of people did. I didn't flee the Bay Area, right? This is our home. This is where we live. We're not scared. We're not moving out to some rural area because we're scared.
But I don't like to go to San Francisco though.
Oh, I love going to San Francisco. I love going to Oakland.
I know you.
Yeah, I worked at Oakland as a cop for a long time as a CHP officer there. It's fine. You just got to know how to. You just know how to handle the town. The town's beautiful, and San Francisco is beautiful, and we go there a lot, and it's fun. And people go there. Most people go there and don't have any problems,
But you brought up that this was a Starbucks or a big corporation, how they would react. Well, we know that like a lot of the big, like what is it, CVS, Walgreens, stuff like that in San Francisco, how they reacted to this stuff is they just they're closing their doors and moving out, and they're leaving.
But they weren't
because
getting
they don't want to deal with it.
But they weren't getting the support from the district attorney at that time, who is the predecessor, Bodine, and the cops weren't filing the cases because the law wasn't helping them out with anything under $1,000, right? So now all these new laws are going into effect here at the end of this week, which should pose some serious jail time. So anyway, what Jerry Brown was saying is that they need to enforce misdemeanors, right? It's all about with the felonies. It's like, well, just enforce the misdemeanors, Because Steve, what's the maximum penalty on a misdemeanor? Oh, Steve can't hear us, Andy. Scott,
Oh, you can't hear it.
what's the maximum penalty on a misdemeanor?
I think it's a year, isn't it?
A year in county jail, right?
Yeah, a year in
doing
county
it?
jail.
Well, I have no problem with that. Let's build some more county jails. Let's make some bigger county jails.
Think Alcatraz is just sitting there doing nothing.
What's that? Alcatraz?
Alcatraz
that's a
is
big
just sitting there
person.
doing.
You know, I've lived here
Yeah,
I lived here all my life. I've never been to Alcatraz.
I have. I've been there a couple of times.
I swam from it once. I jumped off a boat and swam from Alcatraz once, but I never actually stood foot on the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, should we just talk about Steve right now since he can't hear us? Should we say stuff about him?
Yeah. He can't hear us at all.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna cut it short because but I have a fix for this. So I got to talk to these guys offline, but we have a fix for this, so it won't happen anymore. But which means we're gonna be live streaming from a bar, all three of us there. No, but no, I have a fix for this. But
You in that bar?
I know it's gonna happen. We're retired. We can do whatever we want, and we could say whatever we want. We're not held down by any police agencies saying we're saying something that we shouldn't say.
This is vodka.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will work our way through it. Scott, wave goodbye. Steve, wave goodbye. Steve. Okay. You guys stay on the line. You two stay on the line. I need to talk to you, but everyone else will see you in a little while. Thank you very much.